In today's show, let's look back at Monday's action. 11 games. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them that Locked On sent you. Today's show also, I don't know what I was going to say then, completely screwed it up. What I meant to say is thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. There are 11 games on, so we're not going to request elaboration today. We're not going to do Watfo today. They'll be back tomorrow, so make sure you drop your Watfos in the comments below. And your elaborations, there'll be a poll for that up on YouTube as well, where you can vote for who you want me to dive deeper into. But we are still going to talk news. There's not much in terms of long-range news that doesn't involve teams that played today. But this one even involves a team that played today, but I thought I'd throw it up here anyway. And that is Davis Bertans. He's going to be out at least another week with that ankle injury. Not that I think he's going to have any impacts. He's going to come back probably around the same time Rui Hachimura. He might not even be he might be a 15-minute part of the rotation with Kuzma and Hachimura and Gafford and Harrell all in that front court. He's not going to have really any sort of fantasy impact. And an update on the Locked On Championship League, the head-to-head format. Styles of Beyond still leads my team in 8th. Not going greatest, not going too bad. I'm okay sitting in 8th there in head-to-head Locked On Championship. So let's now go to look at the top ads over the last 24 hours. In fantasy leagues, look at Taylor Horton-Tucker, up 43%. I think he's worthwhile streamer while LeBron is out, but that might be legit after today's game. LeBron might be back. We don't know. I think he can still maintain some value when LeBron returns, but it won't be to this same level. The big stiffy, Bone Hyland. Bone? Just the single bone? Just one bone. Bones Hyland, up 28%. Obviously, that was a shit-the-bed type of situation today. It was because he was hurt, so don't panic too much about that. Well, you can panic about the fact that he's hurt with his ankle. But it wasn't just a terrible performance. He actually got hurt about 4 minutes in. Nasir Little, up 20%. I think with the uncertainty around Covington and Nance, Lillard's back, so we'll see how that goes. But he'd been cutting into Covington's playing time anyway. I think it's a worthy move. And Killian Hayes, again, wasn't particularly good today, but his assists and steals are relevant for 12-team leagues. Eric Bledsoe is a great ad for this week. Kevin Huerter, another one of those ads that got hurt today. He's up 11%. Until we hear more about his hammy, I think he's a soft hold. And then Lou Dort up 11%. He's shooting the lights out at the moment. Dort, that is going to come back to earth. And we'll see where that leans. But yeah, for now, in 12-team leagues, no problem whatsoever with big Lugens Dort in that spot.
No, my son is also named Bort.
All right, let's look at the top drops. Furkan Korkmaz down 15%, clear 12 and probably 14-team league drop. DeAndre Hunter down 13%. He was already a drop, and he has even more of a drop now that he's out for the next 2 months. The wave pool, DeAnthony Melton, and then Shake Milton, both down 12 and 11% respectively. Milton's a clear drop. Melton appears to be that way. It really depends who I'd be adding, but I'd feel okay about dropping Melton as the Grizzlies move back into the rotation pattern that we saw last season that really didn't afford him huge amounts of fantasy value. Drew Eubanks with only 2 games this week and Pirtle likely to return for one of them. Yep, if you need someone for the week, you drop him. Whiteside is only a streamer. He's down 10%. Kennard down 8%. Curious decision to drop Kennard considering the Clippers schedule this week. And now Terrence Mann's on the injury report. I'd be adding Kennard. Duarte down 7.5%. I get it. It's trending in the wrong direction, and now he missed today's game. If you want to move on from him, I think it's all right. And Danny Green down 7%. He's not really a must-roster 12-team league guy in the first place, but yeah, he's fine to drop and to stream in on necessary days. Guys, I want to tell you about something that we all have these bodily pains and stresses of everyday life, whether we're an athlete, working out at the gym, or just sitting in our chairs at work. Theragun can help you with that sort of stuff to get through your day tension-free. Theragun is the handheld percussive therapy device that releases your deepest muscle tension using a scientifically calibrated combo of depth, speed, and power, and it's as quiet as an electric toothbrush. The Gen 4 Theragun doesn't just feel good, it gets to the source of the pain by releasing tension using Theragun's signature percussive therapy, which goes 60% deeper than vibration alone. The OLED screen and design make you feel like you're holding something from the future. Just go to their site and check it out. And the Theragun app learns from your behaviors and suggests guided routines. So try Theragun for 30 days, starting at $199. Go to therabody.com/lockedon right now and get your Gen 4 Theragun today. That's therabody.com/lockedon. therabody.com/lockedon. Okay, so why don't we just smash in, talk games. First one of them, the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs got the better of the Celtics in their last matchup, which was just a couple of days ago, but Boston was able to get the victory in this one, 98-92 on the road over the Cavs. The Rock DJ, Robbie Williams. He was scoreless. He played 13 minutes, and then he didn't play in the second half due to knee pain. They didn't say there was any specific injury, but he said it felt a bit tight and a little bit sort of stinging. I think was some sort of word like that. Anyway, wasn't a great description of his knee. We will obviously watch that scenario. Enes Kanter played backup minutes in the second half while Aaron Nesmith was the starter. Kanter, we're not adding him in 12-team leagues. I don't think they'll start Kanter and Horford together. They'll go with Tatum at the 4 and bring another wing player in. But in a deeper league, Kanter might be an option if Williams is out. It does help Horford, of course, who played 32 here, had 17 and 9 with 3 threes and 2 blocks. While Jason Tatum remains a buy low guy because he just can't hit jack shit. 35% again, 22, 8 and 5, 2 threes, a steal, 2 blocks. Now, all of that is great. But why can't he hit shots? At least encouragingly, he was 7 of 7 from the line. His free throws had been down this year. He is going to be a better shooter than this, but man, he is shithouse. 64th ranked player this year because he cannot shoot. That will improve. Marcus Smart improved, which is good. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. While Schroeder, after having him on the sell high, he decided to put in a very low usage performance. 14 points on 22%, no threes with 3 assists. He does remain must roster. I'm not sure that sticks once Jaylen Brown returns. Nesmith in his second half start had just 4 points in 11 minutes. I think the guy that would get the biggest boost if they do start a wing instead of Rob Williams will probably be Langford and not Nesmith, or it could be Grant Williams, who had 11 points in 24 minutes. He had 3 threes there as well. So he could be a short-term option if they do, in fact, not use, or if Rob Williams is hurt and can't go. So that is a situation for us to monitor there for sure. For Cleveland, let's start with Evan Mobley. Was it the worst game of his career? Probably. He hurt his elbow. That's why he only played 29 minutes, but it was just a disaster. 0 from 11 from the field. That is shocking. 1 point. Shitful. 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks. That's all really good. He just couldn't hit anything. And you worry a little bit now about the elbow problem. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but with no Jarrett Allen in this game, no Kevin Love, no Lauri Markkanen, their centers, we had 8 Taco 4 minutes and we had 35 Dean Wade minutes. They could be in some real strife if Mobley has to miss and then Allen is still ill. Darius Garland had 17 points with 2 assists, not his best night, but it was Chetty Osman's best. 26 points in 31 minutes for the Discman, 6 triples, 5 assists, and 2 steals. And as long as Markkanen and Sexton are out, Osman's going to get opportunities. Now, he hasn't always grabbed those opportunities, but he did today. And some really, really nice production there. At least a 12-team streamer. Ravishing Rick Rubio started. 28 points in 37 minutes with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. He's a must-roster player. And Isaac Okoro, look at that line and go 12, 5, and 3 with 3 steals, and you might get excited. I think he had 7 points in the first 4 minutes and then not much else after that. So I think 4 of those points may have come on steals that led to breakaway dunks also. So don't get too excited about that. It is a nice line, but it is also something that really he hasn't shown any ability to be able to do consistently. Denzel the Hammer Valentine got minutes instead of Dylan Windler, 22 to Denzel, 11 to Windler. That's just of importance for deeper leagues, but it is still of importance to deeper leagues. All right, let's go on to the next game. We are looking here at the Sacramento Kings absolutely pounding the Detroit Pistons. Sacramento had to have multiple cigarettes after this pounding. 129-107, and it wasn't really that close. Halliburton was great. 17 points, 10 assists, 2 steals, and a block. My man, as some people have been calling it, the Me Too movement, Chimezie Metu, 16 and 10, 2 threes, 2 steals, and a block. Now, gigantic caveat, the biggest caveat you can find. It's against the Pistons. But this guy has shown that when he gets minutes, he's a good per-minute producer. I think he's a 14-team league ad. I think he's a 12-team ad potential guy. Talked about him last week already, earlier this week already, and I'll do it again today. He's absolutely worth an ad in a 12-team league if it makes sense for your squad. De'Aaron Fox, still not right with the percentages, but 19, 6, and 9 with 3 steals. He is starting to improve. While Richaun Holmes seemed to have a bit of a problem with his wrist, 19 and 9 for Holmesy in under 30 minutes. While the pencil, Harrison Barnes. Barnesy. Talked about how, I don't know when I talked about it, but I talked about him having this insane free throw rate. He only got to the line twice here, and then it goes back to really pedestrian Barnes stuff. 15, 6, and 1 with a steal and no blocks. Still shot well, he just didn't get to the line. I do think, and we've already seen it, he's the 29th ranked player for the season, but 45th over the last 2 weeks. He'll move back into that 50 to 70 range, I would imagine, as the season goes on. We also got 18 minutes of Marvin Bagley. He didn't do anything there to make me think, holy shit, this is a gold mine that's yet to be mined. He's still not good, but he did play, which is a big change from not playing at all. Davion Mitchell had 7 assists. He had 2 steals. There's value in getting steals and assists. We've talked about that with Killian Hayes. But he doesn't do enough to justify must-roster status. 180th over the last 2 weeks for Davion. For the Pistons, let's talk Killian Hayes as a nice little segue. He was shithouse. 23 minutes, 0 points. He had 3 assists, a steal, a block, 5 rebounds. He was 0-5 from the field. It was a bad game, but let's be fair. It was a bad game for almost everybody on the Pistons, including their coach, Dwayne Casey, who remains horrendous. Dwayne, my guy, you do not need to play Corey Joseph. I don't need to see even 6 minutes of him. Saban Lee is there now. Joseph should never play again. And the fact that you're staggering Corey Joseph early in that game and not playing Cade and Killian together so you can get Joseph out there is absolute nonsense. Anyway, I think we might have seen the end of Corey Joseph, who had 40% usage in his 6 minutes. Let's talk good now. Cade Cunningham, 25, 8, and 8, 5 threes and 2 steals. The Locked On Fantasy Basketball buy low bump. There you go. That's the buy low. The window's closed. Hope your fingers weren't in it. Sadiq Bey, the depressed penis, 28 minutes and 28 points, 4 triples, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. Great stuff. Don't buy it. Don't get excited about it. Don't think that it's going to continue. Yeah, Cade can continue. Sadiq, I don't think so. While Alf Stewart.
Is that you, Mr. Stewart?
Well, who the hell else do you think it'd be? Get in here, you pair of flaming galahs.
27 minutes. It's encouraging. In a blowout. 8 points, 15 boards. Not a great line, but absolutely should be on a roster somewhere. Hamidou Diallo played minutes and probably is coming for Josh Jackson's rotation spot, I would guess, while it was an absolute fart from Jeremy Grant. 7 points in 27 minutes on 30% shooting. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. He was a bee's dick away from being in my Sell High show today because I knew that there was going to be a drop-off in his production. Not like this, but, yeah, he fell off. Luka Garza back as the backup center, 5 and 7. Deeper leagues will want to look at him, but, yeah, not 12s and probably not 14-team leagues either. What a game this was. The Pelicans and the Wizards. The Pelicans were up huge in this game, and then the Wizards just steamrolled them in the second half to remain at the top of the Eastern Conference. That is a real phrase. The Wizards are at the top of the Eastern Conference. 105 Washington, 100 New Orleans. Brandon Ingram still on a bit of a minutes limit, but had 31 points in 32 minutes. The shooting wasn't great, 39%, but great to see 11 of 12 from the line, while Josh the Hitman Hart played 38 minutes. He had 13, 12, and 5. I think that increase in minutes is largely due to the fact that Herbalife Jones did almost foul out. He had 5 fouls in his 19 minutes, so that bumped Hart's minutes. Hart is absolutely okay as a 12-team league guy. I don't think it continues. Jonas Valanciunas.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, there we go. Vasilina Walsas. 37 minutes, 16 and 9 with a block. That's all right. I don't know why I even bothered that so much build up to say that's just fine. Devontae Graham, 14 points with 4 triples, while Nickeil Alexander-Walker, man, I don't know who's been worse, him or Jeremy Grant or Evan Mobley. That's a stinker. 4 points in 28 minutes. At least he had 4 assists, but you know he's going to have some shithouse nights shooting the ball, Alexander-Walker. This is one of them. He probably realistically only has a spot on a punt field goal team. He's 175th over the last 2 weeks, which is disgusting. On to the Wizards, who had that gigantic comeback. Good for them. No Brad Beal. No Hachimura, no Bertans, no Bryant. Spencer Dinwiddie upped his usage. Great sell high for Dinwiddie here. 27, 5, and 9, 2 steals and 4 triples. You don't get 2 steals or 4 triples or 34% usage from Dinwiddie all that often. Denny Avdia also looked pretty good. 11 and 10 in 28 minutes with 2 steals and a block. Not saying we need to do much with him outside of very, very deep leagues. But, yeah, that's not... it's not something to completely ignore. I guess I'll put it that way. He's playing some really good defense. He is... Yeah, the double-double there's nice. Just watch that. The Daniel Gafford-Montrezl Harrell split remains curious. 24 minutes apiece here. We are seeing Gafford's minutes go up, and we are seeing Harrell's minutes come down. Gafford had 6 and 5 with 3 blocks. Poor field goal percentage. That should go up, but the blocks are interesting. While Harrell had 15 points in 24 minutes, and that free throw percentage, which had been so high, was not. It was down to 64% on 11 attempts. He'd been going at like 90 plus and was really pushing his value through the roof. This dropped him down significantly. 38th now over the last 2 weeks. I think he was 14th before today's game. And that 30 minutes a night, 32 minutes a night he was getting, that's down as well. We're getting back to the Montrezl Harrell zone, the 26 to 27 minutes. We'll see what happens with the free throws, but he could end up going from a guy who was a top 15 player, honestly, to a guy that's the 100th ranked player. That's a distinct possibility as the minutes normalize, as the percentages come down. Wasn't his best night, and we're seeing that split between the two. The future MVP, Kyle Kuzma, had 8 points in 31 minutes with 8 rebounds. He was shithouse. 20% shooting. He's been fine, but he's not a top 120 player this season. And in category leagues, if you're doing that without Hachimura around, I don't really see how you're going to get much better when Rui returns. He probably should be on a 12-team league roster, but it's not. It's not a guarantee. There's no like real huge, I don't think, top 100-ish sort of upside with Kuzma really at all. But what I do know is there's a bunch of upside by getting your auto parts at Rock Auto. You don't want to go to a local chain auto parts store. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. They can't possibly have everything you need. And when they go to order it, it's going to cost you more money because they're just going to order the parts that their warehouse happens to carry. Rock Auto is a family business serving auto parts customers online for the last 20 years. You can get brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, new carpet, save 30, 50, 70, 100% on these products. There's no point in buying them from that local chain store. It's ridiculous. Go to Rock Auto. So, get your make and model, go to Rock Auto, check out their website and the huge catalog, put all the parts that you need into your cart, and when you go to checkout, in their How Did You Hear About Us box, write Locked On, so that they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need, rockauto.com. With football season in full swing, basketball year is cracking along, and you guys are placing your bets, and the odds and props and lines and everything is there, and it's at BetOnline. They've redesigned their website, so go to that new redesigned website and sign up using the promo code LOCKEDON, and you get a 50% welcome match deposit bonus. From basketball to football to the NHL to UFC to boxing and right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait. Take advantage of all of the great offers that BetOnline has for this upcoming season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline is where the game starts. Let's move on to the fourth game of the day. The Orlando Magic. They didn't get the job done against the Hawks. The Hawks win their second in a row, 129-111. Cole Anthony's insane run continues, 29 points in 36 minutes on 58% shooting. He had 11 assists and 2 steals. He is a sell high because he's the 14th ranked player over the last 2 weeks, shooting astonishing numbers. I don't know what's going to happen when Markelle Fultz returns, but at this point, you cannot remove Anthony from the starting lineup. You just can't do it. But there's going to be some drop-off in his efficiency. I feel pretty confident in that. Once again, Wendell Carter Jr. played more minutes than Mo Bamba. 15 and 9 for Wendell with 3 threes, a steal, and a block. Remember how I used to talk about Wendell Carter for years, about how I think he can be a really good fantasy player. What we're seeing now is, why? These are the numbers that I thought he could get. It's taken a while to get there. But we're here. Bumba had 5 points, but 2 blocks, 3 steals, 8 rebounds and 4 assists on 20% shooting. I think, look, he's still the better fantasy player on a per-minute basis, Bumba, compared to Carter, but I think he is going to hurt more when Isaac returns. Franz Wagner, who'd been struggling a little bit, had 19 points on 50% shooting. He had 2 threes with 3 assists. So good to see a big game coming there. I think there will be a time when he transitions into a droppable player. With Suggs out, Gary Harris started. He had 8 points in 30 minutes. And why they only played Roderick Hampton 15 minutes, I got no idea. 7, 5, and 5 for RJ. He should have been playing a lot more. And Terrence Ross was just jacking every shot in the world. 19 points on 19 shots. He was taking some dreadful shots in this game. He did have 3 threes, but 42% shooting, and he is only a very, very deep league player. For the Atlanta Hawks, Clint Capella, I reckon he might be all right. 20 and 16, 34 minutes, 3 steals and 2 blocks on 89%. So it's just good to see the minutes push up and the production look great. Well, Johnny Collins had 23 points. He added 2 steals and 2 blocks with 3 boards and 14 free throw attempts for the Baptist. Trae Young was good. Not great, but good. Especially the 2 of 4 from the line's annoying, but 23, 4, and 6, while Bogdan Bogdanovic had 20 points and 4 triples. Now, I referenced this earlier, but Fanapants Kevin Huerter, he started for DeAndre Hunter and then didn't play in the second half due to hamstring tightness. He only had 4, 5, and 2, and his upside's not particularly high, but I would hold him until we get at least an update. Well, if you wanted to add someone, maybe it's Reddish. He played 25 minutes, 8 points, 2 threes. He'd been on an insane cold streak, finally hit a shot. I think he'd missed every shot for the last 2 games prior to this. He hit 2 triples for 8 points, but he's not the highest priority sort of ad. Lou Williams added in 11 points off the bench, while it was Solomon Hill who actually got the start with Hunter and then Huerter out for the second half of this game. Not Reddish moving into the starting lineup. It doesn't appear that Nate McMillan likes using Reddish as a starter. Let's look at the Indiana Pacers. They lose to the Knicks 84-92. Another one of those games where the Knicks starters stink and then the bench rescues him. But let's look at Indiana first. Good to see big game from Sabonis, 21 and 15 in 40 minutes. Carlisle is playing insane minutes to some of these blokes. Like 37 for Brogdon, who had 27, 8, and 7. I'd be selling high on Brogdon every opportunity I could. Like, he is putting up high usage, but big minutes. And I just don't think his body can handle it, to be fair. Karis LeVert, he was on the buy low show today. He shot 36%, but he did go 7 of 7 from the line. 17, 3, and 3 with 2 steals. He's still nowhere near where he needs to be, and there's a lot of improvement. While Miles Turner was on the sell high, he had 3 points. He only took 4 shots, hit one of them. At least he had 2 blocks, but it was a disgustingly bad performance considering where Turner had been, and this obviously dropped his ranking all the way down over the last 2 weeks from 5th down to 11th with a bad night there. We had hoped that the usage would stay up, but 7%. That's really, really bad. Justin Holiday made his spot start with Duarte out. He had 8 points. While Timothy John McConnell, he'd been shooting red hot, like I think 60% from 3. He shot 13% overall here. 2 points in 23 minutes, and I'm more interested in the minutes. Like, this is what I've said for McConnell all season. I don't believe that Carlisle will play him 27 minutes a night. We saw the minutes go up when Brogdon went down and LeVert was out. And now Brogdon and LeVert are back. Duarte wasn't there, but McConnell's minutes went down. When Duarte plays, if TJ plays 20 a night, all he is a luxury stash in case of injury. But in a daily changes league, you can't afford that sort of luxury most of the time. So watch, hold, but if Duarte's back and TJ plays 20, it's very hard. Look, you're justifying just waiting for someone to go down. And in a daily changes league, you can't really do that. Manuel quickly, I'm adding him in 16-team leagues, maybe even 14. 16 points with 4 threes in 23 minutes. Now, Tom Thibodeau, if there's a stubborn asshole out there, it's him. He should be starting over Fournier, I reckon. He should be. I just think it's as simple as that at this point. He's clearly playing better. What do you have? 16 points with 4 triples, while Fournier had 7 points in 24 minutes. I reckon you can jettison the disease scrotum. I don't think his upside is high enough to hold through this bullshit. Quickly is an interesting grab. Kemba Walker got red hot early, 16 points, but only played 20 minutes because the starters once again got killed. 73% from Kemba, I would hold him. While Derrick Rose had 14, 5, and 7. Now, Rose's numbers are going to fluctuate, but I think he's worth at least a 12-team look. Mitchell Robinson got hurt, so we got 29 minutes of Taj Gibson. 2 points, 8 rebounds. He's worth a 12-team grab if you're in need of big man stats because Noel and Robinson are both hurt. Mitch hurt his ankle in this one. While Rowan Barrett, just another bad night. 12 points, 3 threes, 6 rebounds, 31% shooting. Bad from the line, no steals, no blocks, 1 assist. Any evidence of this guy improving, he must be invisible to me. And I know that people really love this bloke, but this is a cold stretch. And it really does tie in with so many of the fantasy deficiencies he has. He's the 50th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. He's 173rd for the season. If you're in a 10-team league, I guarantee you can do better. In a 12-team league, you probably can. I would be more inclined to hold, but he's a part of that starting unit that's getting killed. And his numbers are shocking. He will be better, but it's rough. What about the double royal? Julius Randle. This is first season in New York Randle stuff. 11-11 with 5 assists on 33%. He missed his free throw. He's the 82nd ranked player over the last 2 weeks. We all expected him to have some sort of a drop-off from last year. Because we said, like, he's at 1 year of proving to be a 40% shooter, went from 29 to 40. There's the addition of these other players. I don't think it'd be this bad. He was the 5th ranked player after 2 weeks this year and has dropped way off. So he's gone from a giant sell high into probably a bit of a buy low. But I am cautious because this is who he was in New York. This is who he was in LA. This is who he was in New Orleans. This is the player he was. And he had one 72-game season of being much better than that. And now he's reverted back. So who is the real Julius Randle? That's a question I can't answer at this point. But I'd love to be able to know what the answer to it is because he is not playing particularly well. I would try to buy low, but I'd be really, really cautious, and I absolutely would not be expecting a return to the form of last season from him. All right, let's go to the next game. The Miami Heat on the road. They comfortably handle the Oklahoma City Thunder, 103-90. No Butler and no Adebayo, so an impressive win. Hero was great, 26-7-6 with 5 threes and 2 steals, while Dunk Robinson really stepped it up as well. 21 points, 5 triples. That's great from Dunk. Last couple of games have been good. I still don't think he's a 12-team league guy. Lowry, I thought, he could be a bit better with those guys out, but we talked about him on the Sal High show that there was some stuff that was going to fall away. 11 points with 11 assists there, and The Undertaker had 8 and 7 with a steal and 3 blocks to Wayne Dedmon in a fill-in start for Adebayo. Max Strus off the bench added in 13 points, while KZ Okpala was pushed into action. 8 and 7 for Okpala with an assist and a steal. The Heat went really small. Instead of using Omer Yurtseven as the backup center, they ran with Okpala or PJ Tucker, whoever you want to phrase it, as the backup center. So really only played one center for most of the game, with Dedmon there with 29 minutes, and then without a center for a lot of it. For the Thunder, Josh Giddey, the shooting's still not great, but 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, gets it done. Lou Dort, 4th straight 20-point scoring game. He is a 12-team league ad for now, 20 points, 4 threes. On 50% shooting, while Jeremiah Robinson Earl. I really like what this guy can do. I am worried about the minutes ups and downs. I think he's more of a 14-team league ad, but I'd add him in those. 16 points, 4 threes, and a block for him, while Baisley had 7 points on 7 assists, but added 1 steal and 5 blocks for Baisley. Holy shit. And Pokusevski had 11 points. It was a stinker from Shea. 10 points on 18%. His numbers have been they haven't been the best in terms of the shooting numbers, but he's still like a 19th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. I wouldn't be panicking or doing anything silly or thinking that it's a buy low or I have to sell him or anything like that. It's just a bad night for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. The Nuggets, they were up big in this one, and the Mavericks claw them back 111-110 in the end. Big Chungus, Nikola Jokic.
Big Chungus, Big Chungus, Big Chungus.
37 minutes, 35, 16, and 6 with 2 blocks. What a stupidly good line that is from Jokic. While Monty Morris is absolutely coming into 12-team discussions. 17 points, 8 assists, and a triple-1. With all the injuries, he is worth adding, and Aaron Gordon has some back-end 12-team value too, 14 and 7. Let's talk about the big stiffy Bones Hyland, because he was the popular ad. We talked about him a lot, all right? After 4 minutes, he sprained his ankle. So you look at the line, you go 2 points in 11 minutes, absolutely shit. Like, that's shit house. There's no denying that. He sprained his ankle after about 4 minutes. He, I think, sat out about 2 quarters before he came in, and then came back in, played like 6 minutes, and then went out again with his ankle sore. So ended up playing just 11 minutes for 2 points. We don't know when Will Barton's returning. It was not a good game from Bones. If you want to move... Look, the upside for Hyland is immense, but getting there is tough. This is the opportunity for him with Barton out, with Porter out. But when those guys come back, he'll be like a 20-minute-a-night streaming type of player. If you want to move on and grab someone for Tuesday, I get it. I get it. Like, I'd prefer like a Vassell or a Metu as more longer-term guys with sustained value. But I still, this is not representative of what Bones brings. The ankle injury had a huge impact here, but we do worry about where he sort of fits. He had been in double digits for 3 straight games and over 20 minutes for 3 straight games before this one. This was just a bad night. In general, I'd like to hold, but I get it if you don't. Bol was pressed into action, 7 points in 11 minutes for Bol. You don't need to add him in any fantasy leagues. While for the Dallas Mavericks.
Percentages.
Oh, yeah. Kristaps Porzingis. Is he good? Maybe. 29-11, 5 threes, 2 steals, and a block. And by maybe, I mean, yes, he's good. He's always been good. We just had all these confidence issues or playing time or injuries or whatever. Yeah, I loved picking him in the 50s where you could get him in drafts. He is now, like, with the 20th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. We talked, ad nauseum. On a per-game basis, he can be top 20. I don't think he will be, but he can be. And he's showing us now how he does it. Keep an eye on this because at the end of the game, Luka Doncic sprained his ankle. He ended up with 23, 8, and 11, 2 steals and a block with shocking percentages. But watch the ankle. Well, Tim Hardaway had 19 points and Brunson had 17, 2, and 6. Now, Brunson should already been rostered, but if he's not, now's absolutely the time to get him with Doncic maybe hurt. Finney Smith still not really producing much. He's just a stream guy. And then Bullock and Powell and Ntilikina, they're just sort of bringing up the rear, not doing a huge amount there. But good to see Porzingis in form. Bad to see Luka hurting his ankle, unfortunately. Hopefully, again, it's nothing too serious. This game wasn't all that serious. The Rockets and the Grizzlies, 136 Memphis, 102 Houston. The wild thing, Jayshawn Tate had 14 and 9, but he didn't play particularly well, just 25 minutes. I think his upside is so low that if you want to take flyers on someone like Metu, it makes sense. Daniel Tice played 21 minutes. He had a horrendous amount of turnovers in this one. 10 points, 5 rebounds. He's just a streamer. While we had this guy on the Buy Low show, Cousin Kev. He was somehow worse. 7 points on 18%. Now, he did have, to be fair to him, he did have a Richie Beno.
2 for 2.
2 threes, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. But horrible percentages and then hurt his thigh and didn't return. I am holding him, but holy shit, he makes it hard. 15 points for Jalen Green. My issue with Jalen Green from a fantasy perspective before the season was he might score and it will be inefficient, and what else does he do? And that's sort of the question I still have. 15, 2, and 1 with a steal. I am still holding him, but I don't think his fantasy potential this year is particularly high because I don't know what else he's going to do apart from score. I need something more. I am holding, but not for long. Alperen Şengün had 9 and 5 in 18 minutes as Steven Silas did not make a change to his rotation. Well, actually he did. He brought DJ Augustin back, who'd been out of the rotation, while the Crucifix Christian Wood continues to be shit. At least he hit his free throws, but 11, 3, and 4, no blocks. Can't block shots at the moment, can't hit shots. He's not a drop, but he's outside the top 200 over the last 2 weeks. That's obviously dreadful. Ja Morant only played 25 minutes, 22, 6, and 6, 60% shooting, a great night. You're going to be shocked again to know that Dylan Brooks led this team in usage. 16 points with 3 assists and 2 steals. He just takes too many shots. He's already back under 43% shooting. The usage and the minutes is all fine for 12-team leagues. But he does lack in a lot of areas, and he is going to hurt your field goal percentage plenty of times. Desmond Bane, 12, 5, and 3. It's hard to judge too much with this game because it was just such an ass-kicking that we don't really know how players are going to produce against decent opponents, which this wasn't one of them. Bane is probably a drop in 12-team leagues. Brandon Clark had a nice one, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 100% shooting, but again, shocking opponent. While Jaren Jackson, 18 and 7, he also had a Richie Beno.
2 for 2.
Steven Adams, I can't peg this guy. I can't. 2 points in 21 minutes. He's all over the shop. The numbers are so wild. The inconsistency doesn't make him a must-roster 12-team league player. While, unfortunately, I love the guy. I think he's a big, impactful player. But if he's not going to play, you can't hold on to DeAnthony Melton. We're back to the same shit as last year. 5 points in 17 minutes. The 3 steals are nice. I think maybe he's just reduced to being a steal streamer. I'm loath to drop a guy that I know is a good basketball player and I know can be a good fantasy producer. But if the coach doesn't know it and the coach doesn't see it and the coach doesn't respect the game that he brings with enough minutes, then what are we doing here? Jerking ourselves off over a 15-minute performance. I think maybe, again, it depends who you're adding, but he's got to be on the chopping block. Like, he has to be. In this sort of role, with Dylan Brooks commanding the offense, Melton has to be on the chopping block. Has to be. Given the way that things are playing out in these first couple of games with Brooksy starting. All right, now go on to the next game, 9th game of the day. The Phoenix Suns get the win over the Wolves, 99-96. Devin Booker again was good, 29-5-5, 2 steals and 2 threes. He's now up to the 35th ranked player this year, 21st over the last 2 weeks, 48 fantasy points here. The assists are rolling in for Booker, which is great, while Chris Paul, another big night, 21, 8 assists and a steal. Hasn't been really doing it through big scoring numbers, but he's now the 6th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. Absolutely rolling. And it was good to have DeAndre Ayton back. Not only was he back, but he played 33 minutes and he had a big night. I talked yesterday about why does it seem like Kaminsky and McGee can have big games, but Ayton struggles to do it? Well, he did it. It was great. 22 and 12. Unfortunately, there was no threes, no steals, no blocks, and only 1 assist. But good counting stats there. Bridges struggled. I think he's a massive buy low. 7 points in 33 minutes for him, while Jay Crowder.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
0 of 9 shooting for 2 points is pretty stinky. And Cam Johnson had 7 points there. Not much else. Frank Kaminsky, by the way, obviously a drop. 3 points in 4 minutes. On to the Wolves. Townsy, 40 minutes, 35 and 13 with 5 threes. Great stuff for him. Unfortunately, D'Angelo Russell decided that he was going to be the best player in the world at the end of the night. He had 22 points and 21 shots. Russell, that's still okay for fantasy, apart from the percentage. But 4 assists, 2 steals. He's playing at a decently high level, but he's just so annoying to watch. While it was an absolute stinker from Goose, Anthony Edwards. Well, a stinker in terms of shooting. 33% true shooting. He was 29 from the field. He wasn't. He was 18 from the field. He was 67 from the line. He had 9 points, but 12 boards, 6 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks. That gives you a ton of hope that when the shooting's there, like just producing in those other areas. While Malik Beasley had 12 points on 14 shots, added 4 triples. He is not a 12-team league player. Not a great night from Beverly. I still think he's a solid 12-team hold, 10 points in 34, while the Vanderbilt and McDaniels situation continues to be unproductive and confusing. 24 minutes for Vanderbilt in the start, 30 minutes for McDaniels off the bench. Naz Reid was out. So Chris Finch went really short with the rotation. He only used 8 guys, and then one of those was a Kogi, who had a scoreless 14 minutes before back spasms ended his night. We didn't get any Prince or McLaughlin or Nathan Knight, who was active to be the backup center. They just went very, very short with that rotation, and in the end, they end up losing the game. All right, let's go on to the next game now. The Toronto Raptors and the Portland Trailblazers. The Raptors lose in the end, 113-118. There was no Wiki Chris Boucher. There was no Big Sneeze, Precious Achua. So, of course, Nick Nurse decided to just play the shit out of everybody. The Jedi, OG Anunoby.
But what about scarves?
OG.
Balenciaga
Stop,
ones.
OG. You better stop, OG.
I had numerous people over the last 24 hours approach me. Hey, do I need to panic and sell off OG? I'm really worried about Siakam returning. He had 29 points in 41 minutes with 6 triples, 3 steals, and 6 rebounds. I think he's fine. I think he's all right. Van Vliet, 1 game after missing for a groin injury, played 40 minutes. Now, I shit on some of the stuff that Tom Thibodeau does with minutes. What Nick Nurse does is bordering on just as bad. And you worry about the injuries of these guys. 16, 6, and 7, 4 triples, 2 steals, and a block. It's great for fantasy, but there's just too much playing time. Siakam had 20 and 6 with 6 assists. Good from him. And then Gaz Trent, another 40 minutes for Gaza. 18 points, 2 triples, 2 steals. Now, I'd say that he's a sell high, but he just keeps doing it. He keeps getting big steals. He keeps shooting efficiently, and he keeps getting big minutes. Just enjoy it. It's been great. While Scott Barnes, 40 minutes, 18 and 8, a perfect 6 of 6 from the line. Unfortunately, only 2 assists, no defensive stats, no threes, and poor field goal percentage. Wasn't his greatest night, but all these starters are putting up gigantic numbers and gigantic minutes. Aside from that, there's not much there, is there? Goran Dragic went from starting to not playing. Flynn and Banton took the backup point guard minutes. Svi played 8 minutes only, while the big tree himself, Kem Birch, played 21 minutes. There is not enough, I don't think, for Achua or for Boucher to be anywhere close to 12-team league guys when they return. For the Blazers, let's start with Yusuf Nurkic.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
So after the bullshit that we were fed from Chauncey Billups in the offseason, guys, listen, guys. We're going to really make him a key part of things. We're going to really feed the ball in. We're going to make him a big part of our offense. We love him. We love the big fella. We love Big Nurk. He's going to put up some big numbers. That's obviously horseshit because he doesn't love him. Now, Nurkic, before today, despite playing 25 minutes a game, was the 70th ranked player, which is not that far off where you drafted him. Unfortunately, today he played 18 minutes. It wasn't that he was a negative, it was a +4. He had 5 points, he had 14 boards, he had nothing else. It is trending in the wrong direction in a really, really fast manner. I'm not even sure that it's a buy low, to be fair. I just don't like what's going on here. I also don't like what's going on with Bob Covington. So we look at it and we go, all right, that's good. 3 triples, 11 points, 3 blocks. But he did all that like by the end of the third quarter. He only played 23 minutes. That's low minutes for 3 consecutive games for Covington. Closing the game with Nance and Little instead of Covington and Nurkic. 3 triples and 3 blocks is great from Covington, but do I really expect him to maintain top 100 value playing 23 minutes a night? I don't. And I do think it's getting real close to being a drop. Larry Nance, 15 and 5. 100% from the field. 23 minutes. Would I add him? Personally, probably not. I still think it's going to be just a complete, like, I don't know what the right word is. Kids, cover your ears. Like a complete fuck show of nonsense with this team. But 15 points in 23 minutes is all right. But him and Little and Covington and Nurkic, it's going to be all over the shop. Add him in 14s. I'm not massively in on 12s. Simons went from starting to playing 16 minutes, drop him in 12s, while Little played 25 minutes, closed over Covington, but unless he gets 28 or 29, I don't really think he's going to be a 12-team league guy. It's worth taking that flyer, but sometimes it doesn't work out. That's why you take the flyers. That's why you churn through. Because Lillard returned. 1 game off from the abdominal injury, 40 minutes Dame. Go do it. All right, cool. 24, 4, and 8, 2 steals and a block. It's not a perfect Dame game, but it's fine. In fact, it's pretty good. 47% shooting, while CJ McCollum had 29.6 assists, 6 triples, a steal, and 2 blocks. His shooting had been off, and it was good to see it come back on. Bit of a stinker from Normie Powell as well. 12 points in 32 minutes. That's a couple of real turds in a row from Powell. Didn't hit any threes, and he's one of those guys, again, when the shots don't go in, when he's not hitting threes, what's he doing? And the answer is nothing in this game. Yep, that's nothing. No threes, 1 assist. He's still holding him, but he's been relatively inconsistent, I would say, this season. All right, so let's take it on to the last game of the night. The Chicago Bulls smash the Lakers, 121-103. It was a revenge game for Lonzo Ball. 38 minutes, 27 points, 7 triples, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. I think it's more likely that it was the Locked On Fantasy Basketball buy low boost, which is way more real than revenge games. He was on the show earlier today. He went bananas here. We talked about how ridiculous his low field goal percentage was, and he was going to come up, and his assist numbers were low, and they came up. It was massive. So was DeMar DeRozan with 38.6 assists. DeRozan has been, he's 32 years of age? This is the best season of his career by a gigantic margin. He is dominating teams. I didn't expect him to become the number 1 scorer, number 1 usage player on this team. He has been, and he's been doing it at a fantastic level. Hats off to him. I thought it was a weird signing. He has been, literally, never has he played better than this in his life. It's amazing stuff. 38.6 assists, 2 triples. Great stuff. Zach LaVine was good. 26.6 triples, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Bulls are killing it. They're playing really well. Speaking of revenge games, Alex Caruso with a big one again. Oh, hang on. 0 points on 1 shot. This is what I mean by revenge games. You can cherry pick Lonzo Ball against a team that he played for 4 years ago or 3 years ago. But then a guy that we just had a podcast announced talking about how insulted he was by the Lakers offer and how low it was and how annoying, all that sort of stuff. And he comes out and takes 1 shot in 34 minutes. And my point about these revenge games is there's nothing actionable. You can't bet on them. You can't use it for DFS. You can't use it for fantasy start sits because it doesn't work. 0 points for Caruso. 5 assists and 2 steals. That's why you have him. That's why you roster him. That's about spot on for him. Absolutely fine. Tony Bradley played 27 minutes, 6 and 9. Look, he's fine for a stream for this week, but that's probably about it. There's a lot of garbage time in this game. Speaking of garbage, Kobe White returned. 11 minutes. Didn't score. Had 1 rebound. Do not worry about him in 12-team leagues. He's not going to be there. He's going to be better than this, right? But there's just not enough there in terms of touches and minutes for him to be a must-roster 12-team league guy. You could stream him in. The minutes will improve, but he's just not going to get to that level. More 14 to 16 teams. Javonte Green with White back played only 14 minutes. He went from a starter. He could find himself out of the rotation coming up, I would think. For the Lakers, big game from Taylor Horton-Tucker. Yes, LeBron was out, Ariza's out, Nunn's out. They're not coming back anytime soon. LeBron maybe, but those other two, no. And then Anthony Davis was ejected. THT had 28 points, 4 triples, 6 rebounds. He was great. He is worth an ad. He looked awesome out there. Westbrook had 25, 6, and 8, and was 90% from the line. That is, as Sheev would say,
a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
Davis had 20 points in his 28 minutes before being ejected, and honestly, there's not much else to talk about. Avery Bradley did jack shit. Wayne Ellington was crap. Carmelo Anthony, we've seen the wheels start to fall off here. 9 points in 27 minutes. He did have 2 steals, but 0 threes. He could not keep that level up. It was as plain as dog's balls. The biggest knackers on the biggest dog you could see. He was going to fall off. I hope you traded him for a top 100 guy. I remember when I said that, it was a sell high. Someone commented on a video saying, nah, he's actually going to get better from here. I laughed. Maybe he does. Maybe he does get better. He won't. You can, I don't know if you can drop him, but you can get pretty bloody close to dropping him. Horton-Tucker is by far easily the 4th best player in this team, THT. Maybe the 3rd. He's definitely the 4th best player on this team, though. All right. Let's look at the lines of the night. Went down to the wire. The monstrous line of the night ends up at Lonzo Ball. Wow, revenge game Lonzo gets the monstrous. The waiver wire goes to the Discman, Cedi Osman. The young gun is Cole Anthony. And the dud of the night, there was a few I could have picked from, but it goes to Evan Mobley. When you go 0 of 11 from the field, it's pretty bloody hard to recover from that, even though he was dealing with an elbow injury. Let's look at the top 10 players. Lonzo Ball should be at number 1 on the list. I've got him at number 4. He is at number 1. It's him, then DeRozan, Towns, Porzingis, Capella, Cole Anthony, Big Chungus, CJ McCollum, Tyler Hero, and Bust Cade Cunningham in there at number 10. The top 10 players rostered in under 50% of leagues. Cedi Osman, Chimezie Metu, I think he's a 12-team pickup. Monty Morris, short-term 12-team pickup. Denny Avdia, deeper leagues. Brandon Clark, same. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, the hyphen boys. JRE, I'm really watching Joe Rogan here to see where he fits in terms of this rotation, and he's absolutely a 12-team watch list, and he's a 14-team maybe add. Larry Nance, add him in 14s. I don't hate it in 12s. I've thought a little bit more from when I talked earlier. I don't hate adding him in 12s because the way that things are trending is in his direction, but I still think it's going to be a complete shit show in terms of how that rotation goes most nights. Quickly, talked about him already. Not a bad 14-team ad. And the Italian cock, Danilo Gallinari, played really well. And with the injuries piling up there, maybe he can be a short-term 14-team league player. In points leagues, the top 10 players today, Jokic, Capella, Doncic, Porzingis, 4 Euros in a row. DeRozan, Dinwiddie, Towns, Lonzo Ball, Cole Anthony, and to round out the top 10, Darren Fox. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Follow this podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and on the Odyssey app. If you're on YouTube, thumb me up, leave your comments down below, ring the notification bell, and subscribe. Please, just subscribe. Guys, we're done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.